there was a message from Tanya. She's out of hospital though.
Yeah.
So, thankfully it looks like we're alright, but I haven't heard from Tanya or anyone else, so.
I wonder if everyone's gone away or something. Just with being that time, but.
Yeah, I just haven't heard from any of them, so. Excellent. So, right, well, I was going to say, we'll have a bit of a yak while we're waiting anyway, so. But is there anything from last week you guys?
No, it was good last week actually.
Yeah.
Good information last week, just a bit, just practiced it, which is nice.
Great.
Yeah.
You find anything practical or?
No.
No.
Well, yeah, no, that was good.
Yeah. And you feel like
more informative than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about going over to the pub?
Oh yeah, that was going to the pub.
Was it really much discussion then?
No, there was.
Yeah.
No, he didn't stop talking.
I was going to say from the little bit I know of Ryan. And from what Jess and Jess have said, that was surprising. So, right, so how well the sequence going to work with just you guys, but I'll do my best and let me know if how we go. So, you're going to get a table all to yourself. So, pretty much we'll just vary. So, this is about different interventions that happen. So, there's a red orange card on each leg. And so, that is for what sort of intervention, what sort of induction, etc. can be there. So, if you guys want to read what's in there and we'll just sort of match them up.
Oh man, I'm on depth here. I'll give them to you and you put them in.
She said no, she's different, she won't be coming, sorry. Her brow is off, so it's official.
Good to know.
So what do we do? So we match with the orange ones?
Yeah, these all match an orange one.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as I can understand.
Yeah, so the orange sort of your title card, so to speak.
Okay. Well. I don't know what that one is, so I'm just going to put that there.
Might be a few more oranges starting in there.
Ah, is it? Oh, right. Okay. Used to go the baby down a bit. Maybe some slips. Or just be comfortable wearing these when you first. The monitoring?
Maybe.
Oh, there we go, maybe belt with sensors. She's sort of breaking all words. Is that like an induction? Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go.
I was just looking going, I'm sure it doesn't.
One nurse.
Don't know. Don't do baby stuff. Just do gel. Tries doing a stretch and sweep. Oh gosh, I'm doing very well, are we? Cutting into pruning.
Someone's got a washing machine going next door. What's that? tears generally take the path of least resistance.
Mm.
So they'll go through a thinner part of the muscle,
Yeah.
whereas an episiotomy is done
Yeah.
through muscle layers.
You need some of this venting thing.
Yeah. So maybe he seems.
No, I don't know.
I don't know if it's subsequently removed. Routine sign contractions. Maybe.
I don't know.
So let's just see.
Yeah. What?
Alright.
Help now.
Yeah. Where are we? Oh, yeah, it might be there. Or that induction could be there.
Start over. So artificial rupture membranes, so that's where you might be in labour prior, or it could be the first, they could use it as a part of an induction. So absolutely correct, so the midwife inserts your fingers or an amniotic hook, so it looks like a wee crochet hook. I've got no idea, they sit along their finger and it's a tiny little hook that's actually used, but it's a great big long thing, and I've always laughed at why it's
So long.
6 times the size. So if you ever see one, honestly, it's only about that much that is actually used. But a very small risk of a poor prolapse, so she will leave her fingers there for a few minutes. But that is correct. Kegel is very intense, so because it is something that ruptures the membranes, it's a whole surge of oxytocin, the cervix opens more, and so Kegel is really sudden, intense contractions. And can be used if baby seems to be showing signs of distress. Lovely. So often the reason why baby can be showing signs of distress is meconium. And so meconium is that first poo, and every so often they will do it prior to being born. It can be absolutely fine, but it is just one of those warning signs that baby can get a bit stressed out about. And that's why we're looking for the colours in our waters when they break naturally too. So we're looking for that yellow, the black, the brown, any of those sort of colours we want, want to get hold of your midwife straight away. So next up we have the senior section. Check it out, notes here. Remember exactly what I put out. So difference between C-sections is emergency one, you don't know prior to being in labour. And elective is you know beforehand. So one of those reasons that you talked about can be a preview. Obviously, done in surgical theatre, it is normally performed under an epidural, very, very rarely a general. And grateful it's there. World Health Organisation actually recommend that they don't want over 15% of births to be C-section. That's sort of like where they're wanting. Obviously involves a risk because it is surgery, so you do have longer recovery times and the standard, if you're a nurse, standard surgical complications that go with that. So electronic fetal monitoring, so absolutely spot on. Balance of sensors put around mum's tummy. As we said, it's quite comfortable to get, quite hard to get comfortable with wearing those. So your midwife will normally do it just with a Doppler every so often. So generally they are only put on if you've had some sort of induction done. Used if drugs have been pop it open there. So inductions. So it's an artificial way of beginning labour. Often it's used post-pregnancy. So to induce a pregnancy. So 42 weeks is considered overdue. So some midwives about 41 weeks will start discussing that with you, but it is completely your choice. They will keep a closer eye on baby if baby's still happy, that you've got lots of fluid. And like we talked about, those 10 movements every 12 hours. So as long as baby's still moving and moving for what's normal for you. So there's lots of old wives' tales out there. Baby won't move much as they run out of room, they still will. So definitely do keep an eye on those movements if you're there. Main 3 types, so there's prostaglandin gel. You can see hiding a sort of moment. So prostaglandin gel is where it's inserted up onto your cervix. It's either little, it's in like a jelly cream, or it's little tablets that they pop up there. And that begins softening and effacing the opening of the cervix. It can be applied more than once. It's not necessarily going to work straight off the bat. And prostaglandin gel is sort of considered to only work if your body is roughly ready to go into labour itself. So it can just sort of give it a wee reminder, hey, you know what you're thinking about doing, let's get a move on.
That's another one, isn't it? The sweep.
Absolutely, so stretch and sweep. I always think it sounds like a strange dance move or something. It is pretty much what it sounds like. So your midwife's going to suit your fingers and she's actually going to stretch open the cervix slightly and she's going to sweep around those membranes. And so that sort of can trigger a wee bit of oxytocin and sort of tells your body, hey, hello, let's get moving. Can be a bit uncomfortable, but also when you don't feel it either. So again, it's just done by your midwife and it's done at home. Prostaglandin gel is inserted at the hospital. If baby seems to be coping quite well with it, hasn't shown any signs of distress, you can go back home. The other one is artificial oxytocin. So that's given via IV, with saline obviously. And pretty much can be turned up and down over time. So they'll keep turning it up and turning it up and turning it up until your labour begins. Once labour has begun, they might turn it down a little bit, just, you know, because they don't want to overstimulate you, but at the same time they need to keep it going. So if your labour started pausing at any point, they would turn it up again as well.
It seems really drastic, this one. Like, you know, these things seem pretty more straightforward.
Yeah.
I guess that one seems like.
It's pretty much, that hasn't worked, that hasn't worked.
That was
After
about
that.
that,
But for most of us, and like I said, if babies, you know, you do always have to talk to your midwife about these things, and I mean, they are your role, especially for medical advice, but 42 weeks, you know, and if baby's still happy and everything else. So your midwife will definitely at 42 weeks, will start wanting to help you move things along, but there's lots of things you can do yourself too, like they're keeping active, resting, and just relaxing sometimes can be all it takes to just sort of go, body, let's do this. So 4 sets. Probably the one I've got. So a large pair of tongue-like forceps. So that's if baby is still a wee bit higher and just isn't quite coming down, just needs a little bit of help. It all can be to turn the baby into a better position to be born. Normally involves an episiotomy as well, which we'll talk about in just a second. Used to guide the baby down and can often be used to push and deemed not effective, which I really don't like that term at all. But just if you're giving it a lot of energy and baby isn't moving down, then it can just help guide baby down, just help baby form a little bit quicker. Ventouse is a vacuum light cup. So that's inserted into the vagina. It normally doesn't need an episiotomy as well, but can sometimes. And it's used to guide the baby down the birth canal as well. So ventouse is normally baby is quite close, and they'll bring baby down and out. So just sort of helps bring baby through. And last but not least is episiotomy. So we discussed it a little bit as we were talking about. So cut made of the perineum. So remember there's that muscle between the vagina and the anal opening. It's a controlled cut that's done there. It is done with a local and everything else. People do have these awful thoughts that it's not going to happen. It will be stitched up afterwards. Your midwife will do that. Generally they're only done if for some reason they need to get into baby very, very quickly, or if the forceps, etc. is being used, then they'll help baby out with that. So it's used to just open the outlet a wee bit larger, but generally speaking, most midwives you talk to will say that they don't. Far from routine, absolutely far from routine. So how do you guys feel about all of that info. So I was hoping there was going to be a bit of discussion between people, but
Yeah, no.
it's changed a bit tonight. So not saying any of these things will happen, but you know, that's just some information about them. And with everything, ask your midwife, use that brain thing, ask them, you know, why, how do you need it, what's the risk, and if it actually needs to be done. Because something else quite well associated with, with intervention is, these are really well known cascade interventions. So just a really brief example of it is a decision is made to induce, and I've spelled that wrong. Oh, that was good. That should be EN. So it's made, decision is made to be induced, and say they use prostaglandin gel to start it off. Two applications of that, and for some reason it hasn't worked. So, or the contractions have started but they're not regular, they're not really doing much. So the decision is made to use the artificial oxytocin. Mum can't get comfortable because the belts are on. And intense contractions have now started because labour has really started going. So she asks for some sort of medical pain relief. Epidural is inserted and used as pain relief. And due to that effect of the anaesthesia, mum's having difficulty coordinating pushing surges. Obstetrician called in to perform episiotomy and assist birth of forceps. So quite often it can start. So if you have to be induced for, say, your blood pressure goes really, really high, it's not necessarily saying all of this here is going to happen, but it's just that thought of, lots of people sort of will look at stretch and sweeps as being pretty innocent. But really, if we're trying to start things, especially prior to that due date, because like I said, we were joking beforehand, how you do just get very tired of being pregnant. And I understand where people do come, you know, with these sorts of, just start triggering things along and get this over and done with. There can be that quite a cascade of effects, and people quite often go, you know, I might not have made that decision had I thought I was going to end up down at this end of it. So, yes, so you happy with that?
Yep.
Yeah. Lovely, lovely. Excuse me. So, I mean, if you knew you were having to be induced for any reason, I mean, discuss it with your midwife, what they want to do. Lots of midwives here will use homeopathic. There are some homeopathic ways of doing it as well. Never ever go to because the Health 2000 and ask for something. Definitely go to, you know, qualified homeopath. But there's acupuncture, acupressure. There's a lot of ways to before we start heading towards the medical stuff that can actually help you along. Right.
So do you know, like, obviously the midwives and nurses are all different, but are some of them quite open to that kind of thing, like acupuncture and stuff?
Absolutely. Who have you got?
I've got Andrew Vincent.
Oh, she carries a homeopathic kit with her.
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's actually Marama midwives, which is something midwives I work quite closely with. But they are very much into that. Most of them will practice acupressure or shiatsu massage on you. Especially during labour, they do a lot of those sorts of things. But Andrea in particular, she's one of the first I did pop the link up about the perineum massage and things, but Andrea and Susie were two of the midwives here in Nelson that actually did the first initial trial with their finger. So that would say when you got given the giant folder. But Andrea, she would have handed that to you with great gusto. Yes, no, but no, most of them, I'm sure there are some that probably aren't as open to it as others. I think it depends on personal experience, but most of those midwives, Andrew, Susie and that, they're actually qualified homeopaths as well as midwives, so they've seen the benefits of it to their birthing women and also to themselves. You know, if they're relaxed and in a nice, you know, natural state of mind, then they're putting that onto their woman. And so to them it's good to work with it. So, right, so I was going to get to stand up and move into other groups so you can have a wiggle, but so yes, Nicky did just about all the reading last time. first. Obviously, there's other bits and bobs at times. So, if you guys just want to talk together, and if you know nothing, that's fine. Just write nothing. But for each of these, so gas or NO2. So most of us have had that in an ambulance or in a dentist or something at some point. So have a rough idea about gas. What you might know about pethidine and epidurals, so what it is, who would administer it, benefits or risks to it, and anything else you might know about it. So it makes cars go fast.
Yeah.
Just well, you know this, isn't it?
I guess the midwife, do they administer the gas?
Or self-administered,
Yeah.
because you
But
can
that's-
get to control the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
They will swing it between. It's quite often women think they're still stuck in gas,
Yeah.
but they've switched it all the way to oxygen. But it's that routine and that confidence that it can give some people,
Yeah.
and that holding it, and someone will become very protective of their mouthpiece.
Yeah.
God help you.
yeah.
Even though they don't actually want me, well, they just want to hold it and leave me be. So, so gas is self-administered,
Yeah.
but your midwife controls it,
Yeah.
you're just pure.
Yeah.
So it's a nice mix.
Let's write that down for your answer.
Benefits and risks.
Pick up this other stuff.
It's like it's patient control, so you can kind of have it or not have it as you wish. I imagine it's probably quite short acting, so I imagine it wouldn't stay in the system too long.
Risk.
Risks.
Yeah. What's this one?
Pethidine.
Yeah.
I didn't realise pethidine was used. I mean, it's not something we use a lot, but it's obviously different internally.
What is it?
It's like an opioid kind of pain relief, I think. Yeah. Who administers would be the midwife again, as would be IV, I imagine.
Yeah. Benefit and risk.
Well, it's probably very effective, but the risk would be side effects. I don't know, gas wouldn't have many side effects, would it?
Not
Not really.
No.
Do you know what the side effects of that are?
No, I don't. We just really don't use pethidine anymore. It seems so old school. It's all morphine and stuff these days.
Sure.
Epidural. That's like a spinal, like an anesthetic kind of.
You get quite a few complications with that later in times.
Well, I don't.
People offer it.
Have you?
Yeah. But
Limits. Obviously, you can't move your legs, so I guess it would limit your
Is it
ability to.
pretty effective thing.
Well, it's effective. It takes away any feeling.
But maybe the loss of feeling is too much. Who knows?
Yeah. There's probably risks of infection and things like that with it because it's invasive. And an anaesthetist.
You don't try this, do you? Anaesthetist.
Yeah.
Just put a squiggle.
Anaesthetist, anaesthetist.
It is
Yeah.
Because it is one of
the
the
drug
drugs.
guy.
And it can take a while to wear off sometimes, I think, so it obviously limits you post-birth as well, to get to your good sensation back in your legs.
Absolutely great.
What do you use that for?
What do you use it for?
Yeah, like why would you use one or the other?
That's probably a bit more strong It's probably a bit stronger than gas. Gas
Yeah,
is probably, gas just kind of gives you a good feeling, doesn't it? It's kind of just makes you feel happy and.
What you guys got down there is absolutely great. So exactly you say, gas, it just takes your mind away rather than removing the pain.
Yeah.
So it's just altering your perception of what the pain is. Most of us know it's laughing gas or breathe in through that mouthpiece I was talking about, or a mask. By the mother, it's administered by the woman. Obviously the midwife controls how much you're having. It takes about 15 seconds to work, and it's out of your system that amount of time too. So if you don't like it and you don't like it, it's a vet,
Yeah, you just
stopped and it's gone. And it's in and out of baby system roughly in the same amount of time too. So that's something we always need to keep in the back of our mind with these things, is baby's part of us at this stage still. Not known to interfere with the hormone system that we talked about, so the oxytocin, adrenaline, everything working for and against us. It's not known to interfere with that. Can have a bit of an unpleasant taste in the mouth and can cause a dry mouth. Also, some people can get some unpleasant side effects like nausea, headaches, and very, very rarely hallucinations. So, but yeah, the real joy of it is it's in and out. So if you don't like it, you don't have to keep using it. And there's nothing saying you don't want to use it either. But it is just one of those ones that's offered, and it's one that midwives, have access to. And it doesn't sort of limit your birthing options as far as she's concerned.
My husband can sing it.
I was going to say, you don't even know how many supports suggest that you might like some of that. Yes, Andrea will probably tell you a few stories, I'm sure. So, pethidine is administered by the midwife, it's either intramuscular or IV.
Yeah.
Normally given intramuscular unless you've got an IV in already, so say you've been induced with oxytocin, so you've already got an IV site here, they will use that. It lasts about 2 to 3 hours, so if you don't like it, you just gotta wait.
Yeah.
Just gotta wait for it out. Like you said, very, very rarely used. It's one of the few midwives have got access to, but most midwives say no, and this is, just personal, what others have told me in the midwifery community here, so most of them don't use it. But it is one that is available and should women request it. It is there. Takes mind away again, so it's your perception of pain rather than actual pain relief. May help relax the rest if you're having a very, very long labour. So if someone's in those very, very early stages we talked about, so that real latent phase, but perhaps their contractions are strong enough that they're actually really tiring them, but they are still, your midwife can see you're actually still quite some time away. How about if you had a wee rest? It might make you, by the time you wake back up, it may be you want to get a frame of mind, and the labour might be ready to go on. Causes drowsiness in both the mother and baby, so there's no water birth. So water birth is completely out if you've had pethidine, and you just need to be aware of that drowsiness, so someone needs to be with you. Timing of administering this must be really carefully considered, as it does cross the placenta to the baby. If the baby is born too soon after it's being administered, it actually depresses their breathing. So it's very, very carefully when and if it is used. I said you cannot be in the bath or the water, and it does interfere with the breastfeeding relationship, and that's to do with baby being very drowsy and mum being quite drowsy too. So you do need a lot more assistance. So that lovely great big long word. This anesthesiologist. So a local anaesthetic is given first, and I think you guys probably actually know from what you've discussed, but it's bottling, so you can see my really bad drawing. So it's fine, and it actually goes into the so it goes into that space in between. So they give you a local first to numb that area of your back, and then they insert a wee catheter and then the catheter stays in place. So the needle is then removed, catheter stays there, it's taped. Medication, the anesthesiologist decides what and how much. It stops the sensation of pain completely, so it's completely numbing. 85% of people get a good block, the rest may get a patchy one or just down one side, and so that may mean they have to reposition it or top it up. Active labour is a good time if you're going to get it, so that's like that earlier sort of 4 to 8 centimetres, so before you go through transition. And that's because you want it to be decreasing by the time you're in the pushing stage. You want to have some of that sensation back to really work with your surges. If you're completely numb, it's very, very hard to work with that. Often used for C-sections, so for obvious benefits there, that you can see baby, you're awake, you're ready to breastfeed, all those things directly after birth. Increases the chances of needing assisted birth, so that's at forceps and bentos. So if you can't coordinate those pushes, you may need some assistance there. You can't walk for about 4 hours afterwards. Normally we have a urine catheter inserted as well, and that's going to be left in for about 24 hours. So you are going to stay in the hospital until that's removed. So if you're planning on just going to the hospital to birth and then tinkering back home again, if you have an epidural, it will take, you do have to wait till you sort of get your all clear to go. And 1% will get a dural headache, and that's a really, really nasty headache. Is that one of the side effects you've heard?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I think girl I knew that had one had got a real bad infection from it as well.
Goodness.
Yeah, and had all sorts of issues.
Gosh. Yeah, so...
But it wasn't for a birth, it was for something else, but...
Yeah. So occasionally if you're during set across, they'll pop you under epidural for surgery, but... Yeah. So, and it does affect the hormones of labour, because you've got that complete numbness. So you're not getting those sensations of baby moving, you're not getting the pressure, you're not getting all the good things working with you. So when it does wear off, labour can be quite intense as well. Infection, I mean it's not one listed. Side effects, but it's absolutely possible, because like I say, I mean it doesn't mean it'll enter in your skin. So when anything pierces our skin, we've opened it up. So how do you feel about those ones?
Yeah, good. So, I mean, gas is obviously probably quite commonly used. Is there nothing in Pithidines not so often used? Is it kind of like gas epidural? Is there nothing else in between? No.
Pithidine sort of gone marketed. Some other hospitals do use, the name escapes me, I do apologise, but there is another medication that's very, very similar, it's another opiate. That they use pretty much the same side effects of it. Just perhaps not quite as intense as pethidine. I mean, pethidine's pretty strong, but no. So, I mean, I sort of say to most people, we're going to go through some things in a minute about some other ways that you can self-help. But I sort of say, walk and rock through your surges until you think, I can't do this anymore. And then you say, right, now perhaps I'd like a bath, perhaps now I'd like to use some water, I'd like to use some heat, I'd like to use something else to help me. When you think that that's not working, so don't sort of put gas down here with labour and epidural up there with birth and think there's nothing in between, because there's just so many things. And really, personal opinion, I put gas up by epidural, and think, well, there's this and this that I can try before I hit to that. But I would say it's such a personal thing. Every single one of us experiences things differently, and you may want the gas early, or you may not want a period, or you may want an epidural early on, and just or there might be extenuating factors that we talked about that perhaps you do just need something, some help for some reason, and so therefore they might give you something like that to help. I mean, I've even heard of epidural being used It's just the lady who just had a really, really strong, tight pelvic floor, and the midwife suggested that they actually look at giving her an epidural just to perhaps just let the baby go, so to speak.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it was enough to just relax it. So it seems like a really odd reason to use an epidural,
Yeah.
but it worked in that situation. And so, same as, like I said, if the gas is switched all the way to oxygen, sometimes it's just,
Yeah.
nurse, you'll know placebo effects. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, talk to the midwife. I mean, Andrea, it's got a very large toolbox.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if you definitely don't want pethidine, which I must admit most people read about it and go, not really want to play with that one.
Yeah.
But like I said, it does have a place in those very, very long, drawn out, not very coordinated labours. Okay, but yeah, midwife definitely the one to sit. So, do you guys want to do the breathing one and then we have a cuppa?
Yeah,
Or I was going to say, we might. I'll be taking a little bit faster for stuff.
Yeah, there's some funny photos of Meg during her birth, and then at some point all the photos turned to like selfies of Andrew with the cats. Got a bit funny.
Yeah, and now I'm going to use this place over in a kettle. Because no matter what I do, they split, and so they start dripping something. Very beautiful.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, Liz, who's the one that showed me how to do that, do this here. I don't know how she gets the water bombs to not explode. They do. So I don't know quite. If you want to hold it by the little knobby bit right now. Yes, it's like it's that dripping there. So.
You've lost you.
Small issue with mine.
You lost your little wiggly hair. Right. Anyway,
Have some ice.
that one still looks pretty much intact.
Might be stuck on there.
Oh no!
You're gonna have to get
Maybe
balance
double bag.
So I'm really after how these photos look. Actually, that one looks fairly intact. Good. Good, there we go. Okay, so it's going to seem like the last thing you guys want to do. I want you to close your eyes, and then I want you to grip the balloon nice and tightly, and try and hold it there until I say stop.
with the other hand.
Yep, just completely round it or one hand. You can stop. Right, so you pop it back down in your towel or whatever. So, did you guys do anything to try and stop that sensation, or did you just sort of go with it?
I'll just kind of go with it.
I had ages left.
Yeah.
I was just breathing,
Yep,
which is obviously the whole point.
it is.
But, yeah.
Yeah. So, obviously that's stimulating. Holding on, you're just going with the pain, really.
Yeah.
So, the next part of that is if you leave the ice on your knee, freeze your knee instead. So, I want you to close your eyes and just breathe how you normally breathe and just count how many breaths you take. So, there's no right, no wrong.
And we're starting counting.
About now.
Okay.
But so the next thing is we're going to do the same thing with our eyes shut, but we're going to think about our breathing and really concentrate on our breathing. So we're going to go in through the nose, out through the mouth, and you're going to try and count to 3 as you breathe in, and up to 6 as you breathe out. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and sometimes it can help if you put your hand on your stomach, hand on your shoulder. Just make sure you're using your tummy to actually breathe, rather than doing the short little shoulder. You guys are happy? We'll close our eyes and we'll count aggressively, but really concentrating on that. In through the nose, out through your mouth. Trying to relax your jaw. Be stuck there with that.
I think it was about 8.
I wasn't counting, but it was probably much less.
I was counting my 1, 2, 3.
I always say, actually, I don't know if I'll be able to count and count.
I was definitely less than before.
So I need to work on that as an example, but I mean, you guys got the gist where I was going with it.
Yeah.
So it's about really concentrating and going to be your old support person sometimes is not necessarily just saying, oh, like me, you're breathing wrong, but just sometimes to model that. Nikki, you're doing great. In through your nose, try and relax. And it sounds strange, but a tight jaw equals a tight pelvic floor. So quite often when you're holding a lot of tension in your breath, you know, sort of doing any sort of grimacing, quite often means you're tight all over. So just sometimes that drop in your jaw and really go can actually really relax that whole part. Okay, so we're going to go back to freezing our hands, but this time when we do it, we're going to use our breathing techniques. You don't need to count or anything else. Just really focus on in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just slowing your breathing, focusing on your breathing. Okay, so ready to go. Doing really good. Nice deep breaths. Really let go with that out breath. Doing really well. Almost there. Well done. Stop. Okay, did that feel any different that time?
Yeah, it's a bit of a distraction, isn't it? So, yeah, it is.
Did it feel like the same amount of time as the first time?
No, I didn't actually.
How long did it feel?
Well, like I wasn't as desperate to let it go.
Yeah.
A bit
No,
faster.
it's the same.
Same thing. So it was twice the amount of time as the first time.
Oh,
you were
really?
holding it.
Oh, okay.
So it's really, you know, I'm the first time I got shown this thing. It actually was really quite surprising to me because I instantly, because I gave birth 3 times before I got shown this trick, I instantly went to my time away, if that makes sense, and just sort of went away from it and just went and found it quite okay, but then we went sort of through the breathing and probably things I was doing anyway. But then when she took us through it, and it was twice the amount of time. The second time, I'd actually finally realised just how much that distraction, which had another rupture. Okay, to ask what your trick is. Stopping first. Probably not $2 shop restaurants. But yeah, so it's that real focus on that breathing, that distraction, like right down to my joke last week about having my toenails painted. That probably had nothing to do with the price of fish. But I was busy waiting for my toes to heal that I wasn't focusing on other things. And that's what a lot of the self-help stuff is. And that breathing, that relaxing is just actually so important for our goals. So you don't need to do any of this movie breathing, you know, this and all this other sort of stuff. It's about that nice, deep, slow breath and just really relaxing and, you know, perhaps using your breathing words as you're breathing out, the open, breathe, relax, or whatever your breathing words are, and just really focusing on that. Have you found that helpful at all? You're just
right through the towel.
Right, well perhaps we will have a water breaking example. Oh, you must really grip those quite tight. I quite loved it.
Yeah, they do melt. I can feel it.
Right, so you all right, Pam?
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Go grab a cuppa, and I brought chocolate, but you see how the snow is out on it.